Marcus.
No, I didn't kill her. Something happened in the house. Something happened to Marcus. He was sick. They were all sick.
It was just a virus, but it's gone now.
It did something to him. The fever.
No, that's impossible.
Then why are you here?
Let us give thanks to he who walks behind the rows, who protects our crops, and keeps the infidel and unbeliever in the torments of hellfire eternal. Amen.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Citizen Frame. I'm trying not to laugh there as we continue our Children of the Corn retrospective. So, as you know, Trevor recommended the Children of the Corns. He's numerous times on podcasts. Every time we mention a retrospective, Children of the Corn always comes up.
Definitely.
So let me finish, please. I'm not done throwing you under the bus.
Well, I will allow you to throw me onto the bus yet again, so go ahead and speak.
So we do the first two, all right? The first two out of this, I think there's like 11 of these fuckers, right? The first two are done. He then gives me a call. He says, listen, why don't we speed this along and do 3 per podcast now? So now Trevor wants to speed this up after just doing 1 podcast of Children of the Corn.
No, I was thinking the reason behind that was because we were also discussing doing a lot of other films, such as the upcoming Sam Raimi one, Sent Help, and a couple of others. Don't forget there's Scream 7 as well. So I thought to give us space and a bit more room, then we could just do 3 per podcast. Also, I was looking and I noticed there was 9 left, so it's a nice round figure.
Sure. No, because you forgot one.
What one? I know what you're going
Clown
to
in the
say.
Cornfield.
Clown in the Cornfield. Well, that's not really Children of the Corn, but
Thank God.
yeah. Oh, by the way, actually, we've both technically forgotten about another one. I believe, and I may be wrong here, but there is also a short film version of Children of the Corn that someone made. So I think maybe we should cover that as well. So there's 13.
Maybe if
you count Clown in the Cornfield.
We'll do that before Clown in the Cornfield if it exists.
I think it does exist, so we might have to dig it out somewhere, like YouTube or such.
Right. Yeah, so as he mentioned, no, it has nothing to do with what we're doing. We can do these movies anytime we want. He wants to speed this up. So this is all on Trevor. This next month of my life is Children of the Corn. And I used to love corn. Now I hate the fucking thing.
What about children? Do you like children?
Shit, I hate fucking children.
There you go. He hates children. He hates corn. The perfect film series for him.
No, I used to love corn.
No, but you hate it now.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm already having PTSD after fucking.
Well, how dare you?
5 of these fuckers.
He who walks behind the rose will be most gravely disappointed.
If I hear that fucking line one more time, especially in the last one, we're about to talk about it in part 5, I wanted to hang myself.
In a cornfield, presumably.
Yeah. Anyways.
Crucified.
Okay, so yeah, what we're doing here is that we're doing the Children of the Corns, and then Clown in the Cornfield just is a little nod to the corn.
Yeah, which Kieran hates. But anyway.
And I like Clown in the Cornfield.
No, but you hate corn now.
Oh, yeah. But corn does make for a good setting for a horror film.
No corner.
So anyways, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do these ones. Then we've already got the next month after that. So we're building up to the Scream film. But the Scream movie is going to be done first before we get to the other ones. Because Scream movie comes out soon here. So these will get done where I will have to see Scream a couple times in the theater. We'll review that one right away. Then we're going to pepper in Send Help, Sam Raimi's new one, Send Help. We're going to do Killer Monkey movie, which everyone loves a good Killer Monkey movie, Primate.
Oh, that's very good.
And then we're going to do The Housemaid. And that will be pretty much our next 2 months. This is what we're doing. It was where we're going with that. And then we're going to jump into a little more gritty drama with Michael Mann, Retrospective. That'll be fun to do. And we'll keep you posted for the rest.
What about a Puppet Master retrospective? There's only 15 of those.
No, we're done after this. After this one for a while, unless it's like 2 films or something.
Leprechaun retrospective?
Okay.
No.
All right, so the last one, Children of the Corn 2, that's done. So we're on Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest. Yeah, classic. Because nothing says corn like downtown Chicago. This one is James. This one is directed by James Hickox. I believe it's the brother of Anthony Hickox.
Yes.
We have talked about Anthony Hickox. Sadly, just passed away. He worked. We talked about his brother with Waxwork. And, he's, to his credit, James Hickox, as an editor, has done all right for himself. He worked on Waxwork, obviously, with his brother. He did Field of Dreams, great film, Masters of the Universe, and he's still editing to this day, so good on him. As a director, no, not going to work for me.
What you have to remember as well about basically all of these Children of the Corns, well, the vast bulk of them, is that basically it was the Weinsteins, Miramax, who were basically rushing these into production so that they could hold on to the rights to the story.
Yeah, we know that. But James Hickox has directed before, not stellar stuff with movies like the classic Blood Surf, and who hasn't heard of Girls Gone Psycho? Those are some wonderful titles that this man has went on. But to make fun of his directing, yes. But as an editor and as a man in the industry, he's got some pretty impressive street cred doing other duties on a film set. So there you go. I think he's done some even visual effects. Could be wrong there, but who knows?
I haven't seen Girls Go Psycho, but based on the title alone, I want to see it.
Yes, you will, because you have terrible taste in films.
Wow, don't you start?
No, you do. Don't even start. People listen to this podcast, know what you like. You like shit. That's just the way it is.
That's can appreciate different types of films for different reasons.
You can appreciate shit. You can appreciate shit. Let's just move on.
Right. That's okay.
This film was done in 1993. It's always a good sign when they don't release it till 95. It's always a good sign. Yeah, I got a cast here. I'm not really going to go over it. We got Eli. A horrible, horrible performance by the little bastard. We got Joshua. He is played by Ron Mendes. Give him a shout out because he's done quite well for himself. We got William, played by Jim Messner, character actor, LA Confidential, stuff like that. It's been around forever. Then you got Alice, Malcolm, Maria, Father Frank, and actually the best actor in the entire film, an uncredited Charlize Theron.
Yeah, she's an extra in it, basically. She has no lines, but she has glimpsed that a few times. I think the camera basically focuses on her because she has always been stunningly beautiful. So she looks great on screen, even back in her very early days as an extra, obviously.
She's got the pouty face when she's trying to look evil. Do some the close-ups.
When Eli kind of like her is given this speeches.
I believe that Charlize Theron says it was this film that gave her, that she kind of reflected back on when she was doing the role of Furiosa for Mad Max Fury Road.
Right. Is that whenever she had fallen out with Tom Hardy and she wanted to basically kill him on the set? But so to sort of, I don't know, channel her anger. She thought back at her time on Children of the Corn 3.
Well, I was just making a joke, but
Well, I was elaborating on
anything.
But so
I don't know about Tom Hardy.
No, apparently her and Tom Hardy did not get along.
We talked about
Fury Road.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I don't know. Listen, we open up in some kind of fucking trailer park, or it's a camper van, or whatever the fuck it is. We meet Joshua and his dad. His dad's a drunk. There's a lot of drunk fathers in the cornfield in this series.
Well, they get their comeuppance, to be fair. But yes, he is basically, drunk father here is basically crucified and turned into a scarecrow by evil little Eli.
Yeah, Joshua's kind of a pussy. Joshua's the older brother. He's played by a 50-year-old. And he is running away from the dad. The dad's I don't know how drunk the dad really is. He's going after him with like a fucking sickle or something. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's the dad drinking? Fucking methylated spirits?
Yeah. So he's chop up his kid, and then Eli goes, "I'm going to protect you," and Josh was like, "No, I'm going to protect you. I'm the older brother." He's like, "No, you go." He's like, "All right." So he leaves.
He does.
He does. He fucks off, and then Eli pretty much turns the fucker into a scarecrow. And then we see a Bible being buried,
Corn Bible,
the footing, the corn Bible underneath the feet of where the scarecrow is now hanging.
Again, with every sort of pretty much film so far that we've reviewed in this series, they're tweaking the canon and there's sort of new rules set up. In this case, we get the introduction of Corn Bible.
So they get adopted.
Yes.
They move to Chicago, and this dumb shit couple, William and Alice, take them in. And
by the way, Eli's can do magic.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. He's a fucking idiot. This most. Oh my! I mean, we talked about the Children of the Corn, where at least you had Isaac and Malachi to kind of steal the show. These two are useless. I mean, these two are stumps. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say I just looked for Charlize Theron for the whole film. That's all I was doing.
Joshua in particular is a total muppet. But Eli, he's the main villain, the bad guy. You know, he's just a kid, and there's obvious sort of attempts here to sort of tie it in with Damien and the Omen, including the score, I would say. But the problem is, and actually, it is the big problem with the film for me, is. And I don't like having a pop child actors, but he'd be middle-aged now, so fuck him. The problem is the central performance here by evil Eli. It's just not convincing, I'm afraid.
I said, I don't give a fuck what age he is. He's a fucking twat. He's terrible. Fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. Get him off the fucking screen. It'd be more intimidating if you made just Joshua be the one. And have him just write out the fucking Eli character, put Joshua as the lead. He's older, so he's going to be more intimidating. He can be more stronger. That's the way it should be. Let him manipulate Maria and Malcolm, the neighbors. Let him be
as a 12-year-old or whatever he is. He just does not have the gravitas to hold this film together and to have proper menace.
Oh no, in all fairness to Eli, it doesn't help. You got the dumb twats, William and Alice. The adoptive parents. I mean, we talked about the Amityville Horror and how all these things are going wrong, but they won't leave the house. Well, these two idiots are the exact same thing. And William is a blind idiot, and Alice, God love her, is the one who's like, can't get any help at all, knowing that she's the one who realizes right away that Eli's batshit crazy.
Also, what's going on with the pure coincidence that their house that they've moved to in Chicago just happens to be right beside a disused former corn factory? That's a bit of a coincidence.
It's not a corn factory.
What is it?
It's just a factory. They don't mention what it is, but it's not a corn factory.
Yeah, but the father has some connection to the corn as well, like selling corn and stuff.
No, the father works he's a commodities trader, and corn is his product.
So there's a corn connection there, which is a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah, no. It's very corny.
Indeed.
I know.
That was my joke from last week. But anyway.
Okay, anyways. Back to the fucking idiots. So, yeah, Eli's getting all these hijinks, and he's kind of fucking with the mother. She opens up the suitcase. There's a bunch of bugs. They come back. I love the fact there's a bunch of bugs in there, right? And says, "Oh my God, William, come up here. Look at the bugs." And he opens it. It's corn. And he's like, "It's just corn." Well, no offense. If it's just corn, I'd be like, well, that's still fucking creepy too. The kids bring corn.
It's a taste of home. He explains it. Eli explains it, where they're saying, well, like they basically say, what have you got corn in your suitcase for and not clothes? And he basically says it's a taste of home because they have it for their dinner later on. Whatever. I think it's the dinner scene where Eli has to say grace.
No, they don't make corn.
I know they have
during
pizza
that time.
Then.
He brings out pizza. And then Eli goes, "Excuse me." And so he wants to say grace for the first night they're all together. So he's like, says something like, "Let us pray for the one who walks behind the rows, and may hell and fury give to the non-believers, and let them roast in hell." Yeah. And William, the father, goes, "Whoa, that was different."
Yeah. It must be noted as well that the father, William, is also a ruthless businessman. However, the subplot with him looking to basically patent and sell
Own it.
Eli's supercorn. It's not properly elaborated on. See, here's the thing here.
Well, no. I'll give you. I'm going to give it a slight pass. There's a sequence that when he goes to chop up the corn and he tastes it. I think what's happened. They need him because he wants to sell the corn. Obviously, all over. They want that to happen. So they kind of hypnotize him. I think
Possibly.
What Eli
Possibly.
does. And that's why.
Well, it's actually confirmed even in the very final scene, like we're basically in Germany, and you see the corn, coming off the crate. So you see that's part of the plan to basically spread the evil corn, the super corn, across the world and basically take over the world type thing. I would say there's a couple of things I would say in this film's defense, in that I think generally there are some very interesting ideas here, and if expanded upon and played dead straight, it could have made for a pretty excellent sort of folk horror, satanic horror film. But the problem is, well, the kid especially, and the realization with the kid, and these speeches just aren't convincing and stuff, because there's all that stuff going on with the priest and all as well. Again, another thing going in its favor, I would say there are some very good death scenes, especially with the mother and stuff, and the homeless guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're giving it a lot more praise just because you see something there. It's all about the execution. It has nothing to do with anything else. You can say that about this whole franchise. This whole franchise, these films are like an hour and 30 minutes. And they get less, an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 25 minutes, and so forth. But you can say that about all these films. At the end of the day, they're not well realized, and there's nothing there.
Well, there's good ideas here.
I mean, listen, but you can say that, but means nothing. It means
I would like to have seen them elaborated upon and played more straight.
Yeah, you can't.
It's rushed.
You really couldn't. I mean, this is terrible. It's terrible.
I think the problem is here, with the hour and a half runtime, it's too rushed. So and all of the subplots and stuff, even the stuff with the father selling the corn, the super corn, everything's compressed and it's not given enough chance to breathe.
I don't want it. I don't want it to give it.
Did you want to see more of the high school drama and high school jinx with Joshua and his new mates and the bullies?
fucking 21 Jump Street. I was fucking my favorite scene is when fucking William, the father. So Joshua's going to meet the new the neighbors, right? And they're playing basketball. That's Malcolm and Maria. And he goes, Malcolm, come here for a second. He goes, what are you doing talking to them? Well, they're the neighbors. You don't talk to what, because they're black? I was like, what is he, a racist? I mean, they live in the same neighborhood. They're saying hi to him. Why can't you talk
to him? The father, apart from this, does come across as, I know he's a bit of a bastard and ruthless in terms of business, but he generally wants the best for Joshua and even Eli. And he's even so why would he not want them to make friends? It just
and they're his neighbors.
Yeah, next door neighbors.
They know, he would know them.
It's I don't know. Maybe he just, I don't know, because they are sort of part of this gang, with that absolute dipshit bully, who has the butterfly knife. Maybe he was a bit concerned there.
Yeah, let's talk about that part. So they're in a Catholic school, and they leave the room for a second. The father, Frank, and the teacher leave for a second. In that second, Joshua gets a knife pulled on him in the middle of class, and this guy's so over the top. I mean, what are we watching here? And then we cut to he's playing a basketball game where a white man can jump, and he's like, wow, look at his basketball game. Go, Joshua, go. And then Eli's like, dude, what are you doing, man? You can't get along with these infidels. You're betraying me. And he's like, I'm just trying to get along, man. This whole fucking Dawson's Creek shit doesn't work.
And what about the fact that Eli and Joshua sleep in the same bed? Like Father Ted and Dougal?
I think they have their own bed.
Oh, no, they do, but they still sleep together.
I think he just does that to be
close. No, I know.
I
know. Oh, I'm sort of joking.
Wow.
But it is a bit weird.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, they're old enough. He's 27. He's
Well, he's
supposed to be
just
like,
fitting in with all the other
I don't
30
know.
and 40-year-old high school students,
Jesus.
you know. But
Ugh.
yeah, so basically, Eli then takes over the school and has a cult.
Well, I like no, but I will say that I do like little things. The movie's terrible, but I don't like ripping on something and not finding something decent out of it. I do like that transition because here's a school run by Father Frank, pretty much. It's a Catholic school, whatever, and he's giving these sermon, and Eli's deliberately talking in the sermon to his brother Joshua from across the aisle, and he disrupts Frank's sermon, and he goes, "Okay, little fucker, you think you can do better? Why don't you come up here and
And he
give a
does.
sermon?" So little fucker does, and that was his
Yeah,
intent, which I like that. And he gives a sermon, and all the kids start listening to him. He starts hypnotizing these kids as he's giving the
including
sermon,
badass bully.
and this is where he starts and this is where he starts winning them over. And the father Frank sees this and tells him pretty much go fuck himself. But it's a nice transition for seeing us how he's going to take over the school. That was
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. And also, don't forget,
I do love the adoptive woman, the adoptive lady calls from the organization, and she leaves a message. Ooh, she sees this newspaper article with Eli in it from like the
and he hasn't
1960s,
aged.
and he still looks like
Yeah.
Eli. He hasn't aged. And she goes, "You got to call me. You got to call me about that little fucker real quick, right?" And she hangs up. But by the time she gets to the phone, what's her face does.
The mother.
We'll get to her death in a second. It's actually quite good. But the adoptive lady's lighting a cigarette, and her face catches on fire
And melts.
so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she melts, and there's a vision. There's a ghost version of
Eli's
Eli
in the
going,
mirror.
ha, 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 ha,
So he
ha.
is. Eli's in the mirror, basically.
It's-
He's all seeing.
He's in the glass.
He's
No,
omnipotent.
he's in the
He's
glass.
omnipotent. He's everywhere, the little shit. He's probably with you right now watching while we're recording this podcast. I hope he does a number on you like that. You know? Oh, here, I smoke.
Yeah.
I may watch.
Yeah. Yeah, you're fucked. I'm a cool guy. He wouldn't touch me, but that guy's cool.
You're absolutely screwed after this for dissing him. You know,
No,
he who walks behind the
no.
rose is coming
He'd
for
be
you.
like, "Oh my god, I found the one who walks behind the rose."
You're getting the pipe on the back of the head like the mother does. I would say as well.
That's a good.
Yeah, that.
Wait. Let's piggyback on that since you jumped ahead there. We're going to piggyback on that. That's the best death, and it's actually really
This
well
guy's
done.
quite good for that.
Now, when she falls in the back of the water pipe, and the water pipe goes through her mouth, it's a good effect. You can actually see the pipe just in the back of her mouth and the water and blood coming out of it. That's a cool little effect.
Well done.
That's the actress. That's not a doll. That's not a doll or a mannequin there. That's a pretty good shot.
The homeless guy who gets bumped off before that's reasonably well done as well, where he becomes basically part of the soil, and he's or his head does anyway, so he's still technically alive, sort of helping fertilize the soil for the corn, and that's presumably part of the reason it's super corn that's going to take over the world. Yeah. I don't forget as well, around this point, the mother dies, that Joshua is falling in love.
Oh, I love that. I love when Maria takes him. This is the best part. They go to Maria and Malcolm's house. Parents are obviously gone. And I don't know what room they're in, but they're in the room. And she's like, "Do you want to fuck me?" or whatever she says. And he's like, "Yeah, give me some of that yum time." And they start ripping each other's clothes off. In walks the brother.
Yep, catches them on.
He's like, "Hell no. Hell no. Not at my sister, you don't, you bastard freak." And he kicks him out. And then when the camera pans back, you find out they're not even in a bedroom. They have a wide open door. They're in the living room about to fuck.
Yeah, but they have a free house.
Who does that?
They thought they had a free house, that there was no one there. And to be fair, the sister, she's quite sassy, and she kisses him and goes, "That's first base." Then she grabs his hand and puts it on her tit and goes, "That's second base. You want third base?" And poor Joshua, he's just a wee innocent sort of Amish type chap.
No,
He
fuck
shit
that.
himself.
Joshua's already known. No, he's not. He even said, "How do I hit a home run?"
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I just said, come on, door's wide open. the brother's there. You're in the living room. I mean,
They didn't
still,
know the
it's
brother
kind of,
was there.
yeah, but you still go somewhere more private.
Well, whatever.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had numerous ladies in my living room.
Yeah. They're called dirty magazines. All his back issues of Razzle and Mayfair and all the rest. With the pages suspiciously stuck together.
Dude, you have to go that extra mile. Now you've offended our listening audience.
It's not half as offensive as your magazine collection.
Yeah, I got it between my phantasm.
Guys, if you've ever seen Seed Chucky, there's a scene with Chucky and an issue of Fangoria. Think of that. Oh dear.
All right, so fuck.
More.
So the next day, Malcolm goes to the lunchroom and he meets Jacob again, or Joshua, the fuck his name is.
Joshua.
And he goes, "Oh, that's okay, man." He goes, "I apologize. I don't want to link you with that freaky brother of yours, Eli. I'm sorry. You can sleep with my sister." And this is where we find out it's not his brother. They
Yes, the
adopted
big
him.
twist.
Yes. And we find out the article that the burn-faced lady at the adoptive agency,
The social
found,
worker.
yeah, it's from 1964. And every year, the harvest moon, this kid is revealed. This kid is always around. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where he's from. He's not really related. So, and this is where everything goes to shit. This is where everything just gets fucking rushed. It's fucking batshit crazy. I couldn't stop laughing at most of it. And I have to say, these movies are terrible, but they're easy to watch. You know?
Yeah, and that's why I would defend a lot of these in certain respects, because there is a place for 1980s, 1990s straight-to-video cheese, which I will always enjoy, and it will always put a smile on my face. I certainly don't dislike these films. Yes, of course, they have their flaws, but I enjoy them, being honest. And I enjoyed this, and especially this bonkers ending.
So, yeah, the Eli dated dumps to the upside down priest who's crucified, and his evil plan, and then he's lying there dying. Eli's chucked the fuck off, and Joshua finds out that the priest's last dying words is, "Find the Bible from the beginning of the movie, the one that sank in the dirt. Do that, burn it, whatever you got to do, and get rid of the little fucker."
Yes, that's what you have to kill them both at the same time. Basically, the Corn Bible and Eli. That's why they've been separated. Again, new canon added to the series.
I do love when they have dinner at Maria's family's house.
And their parents get it.
Yeah, they're eating the corn. I will say the mom's death's actually really good. Her head splits open and all these bugs come out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
There is some fun gore and violence here, and it's not nasty. You're sort of enjoying it. You're smiling at it. It's good fun. Yeah.
So him and Malcolm chuck off 70 miles away to the old farmland where he grew up, and they have to find this Bible. And there's terrible effect of the dead dad, who's still in pretty good shape, considering he's been hanging there the whole time, comes back to life, but then he turns into Demon Monster Man, and he turns into
Monster
this
Scarecrow Man.
Yeah, there's terrible something from the Wizard of Oz. It's just unscary.
It actually
terrible.
reminded me of a bit of the not as well realized, but the Cillian Murphy Scarecrow from Batman Begins.
Okay, don't even put that in the same sentence. Okay, just stop. Just don't.
Similar mask.
No. Well, it's a scarecrow mask. It's canvas. Of course it is. Fucking hell, it's a straw mask. What the fuck it's made out of? What the fuck?
But
Anyone can do that.
Gets it.
But yeah. Okay, the one thing I do like, main characters get it here. Central characters do get it. I had a problem with that with the last one. At least some of the core, and we will notice this coming up in the next ones, that no one's safe. And that was the problem I had with the first two. There was no peril for the main people. And that's, at least these new ones do give, no one is safe. All bets are off. So I'll give it kudos for that. But I got a question.
Go ahead.
So he has the Bible thing,
Yeah.
right? And Malcolm gets another good effect, or actually very good effect, when Malcolm's head gets ripped off by the corn stalks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best effect in the film, hands down. And he's still screaming as his head's being ripped off. Very creepy. And again, a key character.
Huh?
But anyways, so as this is happening, his friend Malcolm's getting his head ripped off. He's 70 miles away. Eli's giving a prayer, a ceremony of sorts.
Yes, he's basically rallying the troops and
Yes.
giving his wee speech thing. Yes.
And the dad, dipshit dad's getting drunk.
Yes, because he's
How
made
long?
he's made a killing at the
How
corn
long is the
deal.
ceremony? How long is the ceremony? Because he's got to drive back 70 miles from farmland into Chicago. It's 70 miles. It states that. And he gets there to break up a ceremony. How long was he preaching for? I mean, a couple, like 3-4 hours?
Just drove really fast. Yes, I think there maybe is a bit of cheating going on in terms of the timeline and, when things actually happen. But, I wasn't really dwelling on that, to be fair,
So
in this case.
he kills Eli by putting the Bible on his chest and then stabbing with a mini sickle, whatever you call those fucking
Right, the
things.
side thing, yeah.
Yeah, the sieve, whatever it is. I don't know. Anyways, and he dies. But then a monster from the soil, the monster comes up, which is the worst effect. There's the funniest shot in the entire film when the monster is trying to swallow Maria.
And it's a doll. It's clearly a doll.
It's literally a doll.
Yeah, it's obviously a doll.
Fucking bats. I almost want people to watch this just for this ending, this shot. And it gets even better. She gets swallowed whole. But then she's coming to the back end of the monster, which is kind of like the tail end. And he sees her come, her body kind of, I don't know how he sees her, but he knows where she is. So he cuts the part of the tail and she's still alive. He's like, oh,
She gets ripped out.
Are you fucking kidding me? And that kills the fucker.
I would say, though, I would just like to correct you there on something. The monster is actually Eli. That is actually Eli in his true form. So,
well, the monster was a better actor.
Little monster. Well, he's a big monster at this point. I like the fact that it's, it's basically, for the most part, practical. But yes, that doll sticks out like a sore doll, actually.
So bad. So bad. In this day and age, even back then, it's no need for that. Don't do the shot then. Don't do the shot.
Well, I think, again, it was a case of this had to be, although there was a 2-year breathing space, so they could have fixed it. But, I think it was a case of, I don't think the Weinsteins and Miramax Dimension Films actually give a shit. They were just looking to retain the rights. So they were pumping these films out, essentially, just to hold on to the rights.
Yeah, it's still shit. All right. So anyways, this leads us to Children of the Corn 4, The Gathering. Now, this was directed by actually very competent producer, not as a director, but as a producer. Greg Spence, he's went on to produce Game of Thrones, The Last of Us. I mean, those two alone right there. So kudos to his success as a producer. As a director, nah, go fuck yourself.
I'm going to have to disagree here. I think this is really good.
Stop, man. This is terrible. This is so
disagree
boring.
completely.
This is so boring. And you get this hard on for, you think it's atmospheric, and it's not. You don't know. I don't think you understand. I don't think anyone who likes folk horror understands what atmospheric means. But
well, I don't think you understand what atmospheric means.
No, it's not. It's through the atmosphere. It's the tension is built from the environment that they're in.
I haven't mentioned atmosphere for the start.
You're going to say kitchen sink drama, atmospheric.
Nope. You know what this is? You know what this is? This is what is known as a Southern Gothic, and it is very well realized, very strong, and arguably the best of the series.
This is very realized and very strong. You're using those two words. You were very,
Yeah, no, and I will stand by that. I would also say the acting is excellent by both Naomi Watts and Karen Black.
I'm
serious. I'm completely serious. People listening
whatever.
To this here,
Okay,
if you get a chance, watch Children of the Corn 4 and see if you agree with me or Kieran.
People are going to laugh at you when what is it? 3.5 on IMDb. All right,
4.3.
What?
Actually, it's a 4.3, I believe.
Oh, my apologies. It's 4.3.
I think it's very underrated.
Whatever. Okay. Anyways, this is the first. This is not a continuing story. This is just a standalone film. So what happened is they found some script. They chucked a kid in it, an Amish kid in it, and there we go. It's a Chill in the Corn film. That's exactly what happened with this.
Probably what happened, yeah.
So we've got the one thing the Chill in the Corn franchise does do, and we'll get it in the next one as well. Even the cameo of Charlize Theron is, as we always state, Hollywood always good actors always start in horror. They always go back to it. They always work in horror because of their appreciation for horror. And the good thing about the one thing this film does right is that it's got a nice blend of both veterans and new actors who do a lot of horror. Karen Black being the veteran and Naomi Watts being the rookie.
Yeah, Naomi Watts would have been, this would have been shortly after. This was around the time she first started breaking through in Hollywood. Before that, she actually started off on the Australian soap opera Home and Away. So there you go. She did.
I love how you keep saying she did. She's fucking Australian. Of course she did.
Well, not every Australian actor was in Home and Away.
Like you're making a really cool point.
Not every Australian actor was in Home and Away. Some of them were Neighbours and Prisoner Cell Block H.
Stop. Just stop. Stop.
I can go on all night about Australian soap operas. I really can.
Oh, fucking hell. I want to go back to the other Children of Corn and just watch that, and I haven't listened to you. This masterpiece, you just called it. Okay. Naomi Watts is Grace. Karen Black is June. Mark Selling is James. Now, Mark Selling is a sad story. We all know him from Glee. He was a young kid when he did this film, but he was the Glee star. He ended up killing himself because he was about to be sentenced for a long time for child pornography.
That's right. Yeah.
Fucking sad. And then we got characters like Margaret, Donald. Donald's played by Brett Jennings. He's a good veteran actor as well. Sandra. And I do like to see Doc Rob Larson. That's played by a veteran actor who passed away not too long ago, William Wyndham. He's known as the Doc as well in the Murder She Wrote. He's a character actor who's been in so many stuff, quite a few Columbos. So it's nice to see, like I mentioned a second ago, veteran actors taking on these kind of roles. Because quite frankly, you see veteran actors taking on other roles now. Their work's kind of drying up a bit for them, and they'll go on and do even Marvel films and make cameos there and so forth.
It's like, job on actors, it's work, and they certainly Karen Black and the Doc actor and stuff, they certainly bring a professional sort of
Doc actor.
mode.
William
Sorry,
Wyndham.
What's his name? William. Yes.
Wyndham.
Yeah.
The Doc actor.
They certainly sort of. Yeah. Well, they certainly sort of. They can act. Let's just say.
Yeah. Well, they give it. They. And I'm using the word loose. They put a little
professionability.
Yeah, a little more. It's like, okay, you got these guys in this film. That's not bad. So that's what it gets by having these people in there. The film focuses on two families: the Rhodes family and the Atkins family. June, the key part of the film is June has this creepy kid nightmare. Little fucker is outside her door. He cut his hand. She goes up to get him bandages and stuff. She breaks the glass. He comes downstairs. The freaky fucker turns into something. That's all we see. Cut to, it's a nightmare. But we will come back to that nightmare at the end of the film. The town we are in is Grand Island, Nebraska. And there you go. We got Grace, who, before taking on King Kong, she take on the Corn.
Yes, and I must say that Naomi Watts is very good here, and it was an early sign of that she would go on to have basically a very big Hollywood career. Still going strong to this day, of course.
So the mother is losing it, June, played by Karen Black, and Grace is leaving med school to help out. They find out from local people and the family in general that June has kind of lost the plot. She's kind of an agoraphobic. She won't go past the driveway, and they think maybe it's Alzheimer's or some kind of a mental illness or a breakdown of some sort. They don't know why, but that's why she's pretty much there, especially with her background. So she takes some time off to see what's going on there.
It's basically to look after her mother and also her younger brother and younger sister, who we'll find out later on is not actually her sister. But anyway, she gets a part-time job in the surgery, basically, the local GP's office.
So you got this drunk guy again. We always have a drunk guy in the cornfield,
Of course.
and he gets a bucket of water from the well, and he drinks from it. And there's bugs and shit in it, and there's a dead body in there. And now that's that. Why is that dead body whole all of a sudden? Shouldn't it have been like risen by some reason? Did I miss something? Why is the body alive now?
It basically, I think, like the previous one, it's sort of been, with the homeless guy. I think it's like become fused into the soil and helping sort of with the corn to grow and stuff. That was my take on it.
No. Our boy, our bad guy, the half dead boy,
Oh, yes, him.
Josiah, whatever his name is.
Josiah, yes, they're all biblical
Yes.
Old Testament names, yeah.
Yes, he is in the well. He takes the water from the bottom of the well. The bottom of the well, we see Hosea, whatever the fuck his name is. He wakes up. Why is he awake? What happened? I mean, he was ashes. We'll find out what happened to him, but he was ashes.
He's basically resurrected, and
when? How did this happen?
He comes back for the harvest moon. Every time there's a harvest moon, he's basically, because apparently there was a deleted scene with this where it is basically he who walks behind the rose. He's the child preacher, which we'll find out later on from a brilliant and very creepy
I know,
scene.
but why is he back?
Women.
I know, but why is he back? How did he come back?
The harvest moon's coming up, and he's basically he can resurrect every time there's a harvest moon, and he does it to basically harvest new victims for he who walks behind the rose. Even though he who walks behind the rose isn't mentioned directly in this film, apparently there was a deleted scene where it is confirmed that Josiah is he who walks behind the rose.
Who cares? Anyways, I do like little touches, little things that Grace catches. Like June is walking around ever since she had that nightmare, and she's a little agoraphobic and kind of talking to herself. She's carrying around a rosary bead, and Grace even mentions to her, "Why are you carrying those? You're not Catholic."
Yeah,
those are little touches that good horror shows have to let people,
let people know something's
not right.
Going on. Yeah.
And the fact that she's holding on these rosary beads shows that June's just scared. She's not necessarily a mental case.
Yes, and there's more to it than meets the eye. Yeah. Well, again, like a lot of these films where there's someone portrayed as being crazy, like Crazy Ralph, for example, in the Friday the 13th. Well, he's actually right. He's not really crazy. So it's usually the crazy ones are actually the ones that are actually telling the truth.
So the kids are all getting sick. It's pretty much what's happening.
Yep.
And there's this whole long, and that's the problem with this film, guys. It's an hour and 25 minutes. It could have been a half hour. I mean, this whole sequence with the kids being sick is so long and tedious to watch. You get them being sick. They're getting fevers. Some are in the house. Some are in the hospital. Oh, the kids are getting hot. We got to throw them in ice cube baths. Oh, my God, they're hot. And then all of a sudden, boom, they're better. Pretty much what's going on is Devilman Josiah is taking them over. And as they're sick, he's taking them over. And once they're not sick, he's got them under his control.
Yeah, they're going to be his disciples, basically.
Yes, they're his disciples. This 30 minutes of this, guys, and it would stop. I was looking at my watch. Fuck me, give me something here. Nothing happens. It's
there are a couple of good deaths thrown in.
Oh my God, let me hear these great deaths.
The doctor, for a start, cut in half.
Terrible.
I thought that was really good. And I actually felt for him because I like the character.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, she should jump ahead. Let's talk about those little, you have these little twins, Charlie and Scott, right?
Yes.
And they're creepy little fuckers because they're twins. But anyways, and her mom brings them in, and the mom looks tired, and Doc goes, get out of here. I'll take care of these little fuckers. And they go, stop calling us Charlie and Scott. I'm Zeke, and he's Caleb. And I will say there's this nice speech that Doc gives. Let me tell you, back when I was a child, long story short, he gives these kids these speech. And he finally turns to him and goes, in other words, I'm going to go, when your mom gets back here, I'm pretty much going to suggest that she beats the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Because he says he was raised on when the children couldn't act like this, and a little thump
Well,
little
to be
bastard,
fair,
eat it.
with all of the kids and all of the children of the Corn films, I think they all need a good kick up the arse,
Yeah.
you little brat or brats.
And then you got
Yeah.
Marcus. You got Marcus. Oh, here's the death you're talking. This is the deaths you're talking on. They're terrible. Marcus gets blamed on pretty much. He's a suspect when his wife goes into the room. Not Marcus. Sorry, Donald gets blamed when his son kills the mom. You don't see anything. Yeah. It's terrible cutaway. And that's fact. There's a terrible. It's hilarious. So poorly done. Marcus is sitting in the bedroom. The mom goes in. Marcus, get some sleep. We gotta leave in the morning. We're packing. We're leaving. And he opens up the blinds, and there's little fuckers sitting behind the window. It's laughable. And then he starts chopping up them. Let me finish, please. He chops up them. We see a little couple blood splats on the wall. You think that's brilliant. And cuts away. The dad is now with the sheriff. The sheriff says, "Wow, you look bad as this. You look bad as hell here." The father's always the guilty one, technically. The sheriff then runs after Marcus. Marcus then kills the sheriff, and yet Donald's still a suspect. It's fucking terrible, terrible, terrible editing, terrible everything. And you think
I think you're wrong there, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. I think that Donald was a suspect at first, but then I think the deputies realized, once the sheriff and all's killed.
No. Because then
he does get let out.
You haven't watched You haven't watched this. You haven't watched this. I've watched this fucking 3 times. He goes to the old lady's house, the one who's the daily dump lady, their sisters.
The sisters,
and he says, "Can I stay with you? The cops are after me. That I'm wanted. I'm a suspect."
Yeah,
that's what he says. So no, he's not. It's terrible, terrible, terrible filmmaking.
I disagree. I actually think, in general, yes, it's low budget. Yes, it's straight to video, later sequel type film. But
that has nothing to do with it.
I think there is a lot going for this.
Great. Let me know when let me know.
I'm serious. The deaths, I believe, are all effective, and I would argue that this is probably the best in the series. As a kid, the performances of the kids here overall are much superior than the previous one, and actually the previous 2, I would say. And I think, and actually get into the next one, they're better than that one as well. So I think there is a sinister Southern Gothic tone. And in fact, the best scene is later on with the 2 old women where they give the full story about Josiah and the full backstory.
Okay. It's
Southern Gothic, which is basically a deep South version of a British bleak kitchen sink atmospheric drama. Put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it, Kieran.
So you're saying Sam Raimi's The Gift. Sam Raimi's The Gift. All right, that's the movie. It's called The Gift.
Yes, I know what. Yes, I remember watching it at the time.
That's Southern Gothic.
I would have to watch it again, but there's probably
just
elements
as good
of
as this piece of shit, is what you're saying.
I'd have to watch it again. The Gift, but I think this works effectively well for what it is.
No, what you're seeing here, you're seeing a story. I'll give you that. That's fine, but you're not looking at the execution at all. You're not looking at all of it. The deaths are terrible.
I think a lot of the execution here is very good.
You like the mom's death, which is off camera. You see the doc get cut in half. You don't see it get cut in half. It's terribly badly done.
Less is more sometimes.
All right. Anyways.
Right. But anyway,
so
and the acting is bang on, including the children.
Okay.
And the atmosphere of dread.
Oh my
weirdness.
God. There's no dread here. Fuck off. Dread. Atmosphere of dread.
I am not lying here. I am not.
Village of the Damned back in the 60s did it better than this.
Village of the Damned's a classic. So it is.
Yeah, exactly. This is a classic something. I'll give you that. Now, I do like, this is funny. So we mentioned the dream in the beginning of the film. That June.
Yes, that comes back.
Yeah, see, now, suddenly she gets a knock. Instead of a little boy, it's a little girl. She cut her hand. She lets the girl in. She goes upstairs, gets the medicine, breaks the glass. She realizes, holy fuck. And then she goes downstairs and she sees the girl as the boy that was in her dream. I have never seen somebody get rid of her agoraphobia so fucking fast.
Well, to be fair, if you were in that situation, if I was in that situation, I would be out that door like, I don't know, Superman.
Yeah, she fucking gets there, gets the keys to the car and fucking floors it.
Yes.
And of course she gets pissed for it, but you don't see it. But according to you, it's masterpiece because less is more. You don't want to see somebody get cool and pitchforked. We don't
I'm
want
not
to see
saying it's a
that.
masterpiece. I'm
We
saying
don't want. You said it's very, very good, and then so we don't
Let's
want to
stand
see
by
that.
that.
But we don't want to see that because according to Trevor, less is more in a slasher film. We don't want to see somebody die with a pitchfork, do we? No, no, no. It's okay
This
to do
isn't
it
a
off
slasher
camera
film.
as long as it's atmospheric.
This isn't a slasher film. The next one is.
Yeah, of
The
course it
next one is a
is.
generic.
Oh
It's
my
not really. I
God.
mean, technically, it is because it's a later sequel to Children of the Corn. But and there are sort of deaths every so often. Certain beats for a killing and all that sort of thing. But I think there is much more to it than just a simple slasher sequel. I'm not saying it's the greatest film ever made, but I think for what it is, a straight-to-video Children of the Corn sequel, it is very strong. Right across the board.
I will say this. Like I said, I always like to find stuff in shit cinema.
Do you?
And well, I'm not. I am fair, but it's a terrible film, and I'll back that up 100%.
Again,
You're
disagree.
getting something. That's fine. We won't go over that again. You're blind and deaf. So I like the backstory. All right, and now the backstory, I believe, is the actual story of. Or one of the stories of who walks behind the fucking. I think it's
it's basically Josiah's backstory, but he is who walks behind the rose.
Yes, because they don't use the term, but because this is a standalone film, as we mentioned, it has nothing to do with the ones we just mentioned. So that's why they're playing loosey goosey with who is the corn monster.
But as I said earlier, there is a deleted scene apparently where Josiah is explicitly named as the child preacher in the story that the old women are telling, and is also named as he who walks behind the rose. It's like a backstory.
I'll tell you what. I know you like this is a masterpiece to you, but there was 20 minutes of children getting sick. It was nauseous. I was getting sick.
That could have been trimmed down.
And it could have. And this is what they should have done. If this story is heartbreaking, I will say this: if there is a heartbreaking tale here, and if they could have showed, like, as they're telling that story, take that crap out and put this in. Show us like an old black and white, maybe flashback of the story of this kid. So the story is about this bastard child, pretty much. The mother abandons him. He's a young kid, but he has his preaching capabilities. He's a young preacher kid. And the adult preachers are getting rich off him because everyone wants to see the young, priesty kid. And so what they're doing is they're feeding him. There's, and I think mercury or something. They're feeding him something. They call it quicksilver to stun his growth. And so what happens is it doesn't really work out. So they only can do this for so long. So they take him, they burn him in the cornfield, and then they take his bones and the burnt ash and they chuck it down this well. Yes. And that is the story of this character, and it's one of the reasons why Donald goes after him with mercury bullets.
Yes, I agree. I would have liked to have seen more of that, but also there is another element of the drama that could have been elaborated on more as well, and that is the fact that Naomi Watts' little sister is not her sister, is actually her daughter, but that's just briefly skipped over once she reveals to Donald, she's not my sister, she's my daughter.
What was that revealed?
Whenever they're getting into the car, whenever they're about to go and kick some serious ass. And she's talking about her, the way her little sister is basically the key to it, of like fully bringing back Josiah. There's actually a very good effect where she's floating above the water and all the kids are chanting later on. But as they're getting in the car, Donald will say something like, well, go get your sister or save your sister. And she goes, she's not my sister, she's my daughter. So there's a tragedy there where she obviously fell pregnant outside of marriage. And she was basically, as would have happened in certain communities and here in Northern Ireland and Ireland as well, if a young girl back in the day fell pregnant outside of marriage, basically the family would have hushed it up and then the mother would have pretended that it was her child.
Oh, okay. So what they're playing on then, that makes a little more sense because technically Josiah wants her because technically, like he was abandoned by his mother, she was technically abandoned by her mother.
Yes, that's the connection. And that's what I was thinking of, where that could have been elaborated on more along with, their two tragic backstories elaborated on more instead of basically an elongated episode of VR with kids being sick.
But see, that's the problem. You can sit there and say you think blah blah blah, and you can have these discussions about it. I'll give you a pass on there. At least there's discussions you can have about this film and not laugh at it as much as we did the others. However, it's all about execution. And if we're not, if they're missing the trick here, if they're not showing us the stuff we should be seeing and make this darker than it is, instead of spending 25 minutes of fucking ER or the Pit coverage, we could have had this and you could have made it more deeper than what we're getting.
I agree. I actually agree.
And that, but that's why it fails completely for me.
Not for
just
me.
because there's something there doesn't mean it's good.
It's not just that there is something there. There are various strong elements here for me. But yes, I'm not saying that it's perfect. And certainly I think that they could have dwelled more on these tragic backstories thing and, a proper drama, proper drama that would happen in the real world and has happened. But yeah, so I actually agree with you there that certainly we could have had less of basically Children's Hospital and more of this sort of gritty, serious drama.
So I'm confused when she goes after him to get Margaret.
Yes.
And Margaret's kind of she's in a pool of blood.
Yeah. Very well realized that effect, actually. She's hovering above it.
Yeah, she goes in there and she's got the mercury bullets with the black bullets and she forgets to switch the bullets. So she's got the black bullets are the ones with just pellets, shotgun bullets. Yeah. And the red ones, I believe, are the ones with the mercury in it. And she forgot to switch them. So she only has the black bullets. And that's why the shotguns aren't really killing Josiah. But she looks up and she blows the fountainhead. Is that a water that was coming out of there that melted him?
It was something to do with, it's explained where basically the corn and all of this sort of water within this sort of corn system, not really being properly scientific here, it's all connected to Josiah and him coming back, I believe.
The water melts him?
It's something like that, yeah.
Why would he come out of water if the water melts him?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't even think it's fully elaborated upon. I could be wrong, but yeah, there is. I do find the finale quite rushed in certain respects.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then, or unless I missed the line where Donald says, "You go in there, blah blah." He's gonna look for his kid, Marcus. And did he say he was gonna put something in the water, like mercury in the water? So if you see the water hits him, the mercury's in the water, so that would kill him.
It could be. I think you might be onto something there.
I'm not sure,
like
but
that.
that's my problem. That's my problem. Again, not a bad
idea.
Is
connected, and the corn, obviously.
Whatever. Well, he's dead, so there you go. Happy ending.
Yeah. Or is it? Because we see a grasshopper at the end with the little brother. That's it. Yeah. I mean, to be critical as well, I think the little brother's in it briefly at the start with his creepy Charles Manson playing cards for some reason, and then he disappears for the bulk of the film and isn't back in it till later on, like the end, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like, don't know what was going on there, but really don't care.
Yeah, really bit of chopping during the editing process.
Yeah, it's not a good film. It's not a good film, but I like seeing Naomi Watts. I like seeing Karen Black. It's got something there, but that's not a pass for me. Just because something's there doesn't mean anything.
I would say it's and summing up, I would basically say it's very strong and has some very strong elements, but it's not perfect. It's flawed.
Strong. Wow. All right. Anyways,
genuine.
All right. Next up, Children of the Corn, Fields of Terror. Hold on, people. I gotta drink my water because I'm gonna fucking just throw up here in a second.
It wasn't that bad. You there?
Yeah, I'm
here. Fill in the blanks here while he's away sipping his water.
Fucking hell!
I hope there's quicksilver in it.
All right. So, anyways, this was written and directed by Ethan Wiley. Ethan Wiley's done 2 films that I really like. He wrote both House 1 and 2. I like the House movies.
I like the House films, yes.
So that's what he's famous for. Not much else, but good on him. This one, each film with the Children of the Corns, I will say this, the acting gets better and better. And this one's got a pretty, the actors here are pretty good besides Eve Mendes. And
she is bad.
But, she's bad. But, yeah, the acting's not bad. And I like, this is a slasher film.
Totally.
This is literally a slasher film of all the Children of the Corns. This is pretty much
very much so.
Car gets abandoned. They go to a local farmhouse. They're being hunted. There you go.
In fact, the four main characters basically are all of the sort of slasher, high schooly type tropes. You've got the jock. You've got the sort of final girl, the more sensible final girl. You've got the slut, and you've got the Joker as well.
Slut.
Well, that's what the character. It's a trope, and that's.
She's not a slut. She's not a slut.
But it's that type of character. It's a character.
I know,
trope.
And if she's the hot one,
and you know she's going to die because she shags the guy. It's the rules, you know what I mean? I'm like Randy here in Scream. You know what I mean? You gotta know the rules, and these are tropes of a slasher.
Let's jump into the cast here. We got Alexis Arquette plays Greg.
Very good.
Stacey Galena as Allison. Eve Mendes plays Kerr. Funny story. Eva Mendes saw this film, and she decided she wanted to take acting lessons. Eva Mendes, God love you. It never worked. You're always a bad actress, but you're married to a nice guy, Ryan Gosling, and she's kind of retired from acting, and she's got a family. So good on her, but she was good to look at. We got Greg Bond plays Tyrus, the great Fred Williamson, Sheriff Skaggs, and then we got just dead bodies: Charlotte, Laszlo, Jacob, Lily, Ezekiel. Funny story about Ezekiel. Ezekiel looks like the Mad Magazine guy.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking, and I was genuinely going to bring that up and say he looks like. Yeah.
His name is Adam Wiley, and he has had a successful career, and good on him. He started
doing Mad Magazine covers.
He started in Kindergarten Cop. He's did plenty of films after that, but he does a lot of voiceover stuff. So good on him.
You've forgotten a couple of people. Actually, you've forgotten.
I'm not done.
Kill Bill. Go ahead.
Let me finish, dude. Fuck. David Carradine plays Luke. Really creepy.
Kane.
Don't know if he's a pedophile or not, but we'll play on that one.
Kane from Kung Fu is in it.
You got Kane Hodder as just a cameo as the bartender.
Yep.
So, there you go.
And also the guy who plays Sheriff Gable is in the bar as well, one of the sort of hillbillies. In fact, I would even go as far as saying this isn't just a slasher, but it also plays on the whole Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque city folk, clueless city folk go to the sort of small town in the south, and they're out of their depth, and they're rude about the old ways and stuff, and they pay the price for it. So there's a lot of that going on here as well.
Now, you meet the fucking annoying people. They're going to meet their buddies Charlotte and Laszlo, our main Greg, Allison, Kerr, and Tyrus. And so, but these fuckers, they were annoying as fuck. I wanted them dead right away.
Before they do get killed right away.
Yeah, they do. Terrible deaths. Pretty could have been better. Really didn't care. But before all this goes down, before we meet Ezekiel, this is a year before we meet our core group of dipshits.
Yes.
And he goes into the cornfield, and he sees this green flame, and the green flame he zaps him, and then it just says 1 year later. And this is where we're at now.
Well, but don't forget he kills the farmer as well. Before this, after he gets zapped.
Yeah, this is 1 year later.
Yeah,
and he's killing. What's happening is, I was wondering why it's 1 year later. Why was he? But during this transition of him becoming Freaky Man, whatever he fucking becomes,
Mad Magazine guy. Yeah,
the farmer is bitching about someone's cutting the throat of cows. It's not happening all the time, but it's happening periodically. And he goes out to check it out, and he gets lifted up by Ezekiel, and a bunch of lightning hits him. Actually, I kind of enjoyed that shot. I thought it was kind of cool. And so he gets pretty much lightning to death.
Yes.
And then the wife's killed off camera by the kids. So I think in this year off from being zapped, he was killing cows and for sacrifices or something, and he was also gaining the kids' trust. So now he's got the team up, and now he's in full on slaughter mode.
He was basically he was getting his posse together of evil corn kids, but also siding with Kane from Kung Fu, and also the main girl, the final girl, her brother has joined the cult as well because her father was a violent drunk.
Yeah, well, again, violent drunks. That's always part of that's the cliche of a cornfield kid.
It's part of the recipe.
Now you bring up posse. I got a great joke. Want to hear a joke?
Go
Joke
ahead.
time. This is the best joke ever.
Take a long
best joke ever. And don't interrupt me when I'm telling the joke. You're going to do that. You're just going to, okay, and then...
Okay, Bill Hicks, sorry.
Fucking hell. Okay. So the Lone Ranger has been captured. And he's in a tent. And the big chief guy comes down. And he goes, "You are a valiant adversary. We are going to grant you 3 wishes. Because you're such an adversary, I mean, before we kill you, we're going to, give you 3 wishes." So Lone Ranger goes out of the chief tent and he whispers in Trigger's ear. Oh, is it Silver? It's Silver. Silver's the horse, right?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
He whispers in Silver's ear. Silver comes back, but about 2 hours later, beautiful blonde girl. And, Lone Ranger's like, damn. And he has some yum time. And he then puts the girl on top of Silver and again whispers in Silver's ear. Silver then brings the blonde woman away and then brings in a brunette. And then, Lone Ranger rolls his eyes. He says, "Oh, all right." And he has yum time with her. And again, the chief walks up to him and goes, "Boy, you've got one more wish left." And Lone Ranger goes, Yeah, I know, Chief. Whatever. This time, he grabs both ears of Silver, yanks him down, and he says, "Hey, fucker, I said posse."
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
No,
this is probably our longest podcast yet so far, but yet it's even longer now.
How do you not think that's a fucking funny joke?
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, here we go. Oh, but it's not very, very atmospheric like the fucking last film we just did. Jesus. Whatever. All right, back to this piece of shit.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we got the dipshits. And you're right. Greg kind of makes an off-color comment about the smell of the town. And he was saying it's the dead corn that's in the stock in the
yes, Sheriff Gable from Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me fills him in.
Never heard of him. Don't give a fuck. So,
well, you've seen the film.
Oh, I really don't care.
Okay, go ahead. Kane Hodder's the barman, by the way.
I said that.
I know.
You don't even listen. What's the name of the town, Trevor? Do you even know the name of the town?
Oh, it's on the tip of the tongue. It's not Gatland. It's not Gatland. It is something island, is it? No, that was the previous one.
That was the last one, which you call the masterpiece.
What? No, go ahead, enlighten me.
Divinity Falls.
That's right. That's actually a very clever name because Divinity is going to fall within this town. Yeah.
Is it me or is Fred Williamson the worst sheriff ever?
What? He's better as Sex Machine and From Dusk Till Dawn when he has a gun for a dick.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this fucking film, He Who Walks Behind the Rose is said like 1,000 times. It's literally just the script, and everything else you just have to improv any other dialogue.
And once again,
but just make sure you end it with "He Who Walks Behind the Rose."
And once again, they're playing loose and fast with a cannon and adding bits on because now it's connected to this silo and this big fire corny thing where he who walks behind the rose basically lives, and then for some strange reason later on, Eva Mendes actually does us all a favor and jumps into this fire.
There's a scene where they decide they're going to leave, and the sheriff goes, "We want to leave. Where's the bus to the nearest town?" And the sheriff actually says, "There's an 8 p.m. and then there's an 8 a.m. If you run, you can catch the 8 p.m." Well, why the fuck didn't you just why didn't you just drive him there to the bus?
Yeah, because he was looking rid of them. Yeah. So
No, why not do that?
maybe he couldn't be arsed.
Which was-
maybe, or
See,
maybe, just maybe, the plot had to be forwarded.
yeah, that's
It would have
terrible
been a
writing.
very
That's just
short film.
terrible.
Yeah.
Because he ends up helping them. So it's not. It wasn't like he was deterring them or anything. He ends up helping them, sacrificing himself actually. So
He's
it's
one of the
like,
good guys.
yeah. So the character is flawed there, and I didn't get that, and I don't like that continuity of that character.
It's in the script.
But
It's basically the script the plot had to be forwarded.
Yeah, it's just bad, really bad. If you got to hide behind that, I do love when they have the discussion. Kerr's boyfriend Kurt died of a bungee jump, right? And all of a sudden,
I
during
bust out
dinner
laughing at
time-
that.
This is the best part. So Kerr, who was played by Mendes, who's playing sulky face all the time,
Yes.
and they're in the house, they're eating dinner, whatever they're fucking doing. I don't know, drinking beers, whatever. And Allison goes, Kurt didn't commit suicide. Kurt didn't die from a bungee jump. I walked into his house. He committed suicide. I found the body. I'm like, where did that come from? And there's Kurt, like,
It's
what
so
the
random.
fuck?
But also,
Yes, it's
there
like-
is a genuinely really funny line earlier on where Alexis Arquette, who's actually very good in this, and actually quite funny, and he could do comedy acting very well, but he basically says, when they're talking about the bungee jump death, he goes, "Whoever thought bungee jumping would be dangerous?" Like, what?
It's just-
But then,
Oh
but
my
then I don't
God.
know. But surely, if someone dies from a bungee jump, it would have been like widely reported, and there would have been police, or there would have been an investigation. But it turns out, nah, he was only joking. He actually topped himself in his bedroom. What? What? How does that even make a lick of
And then-
sense?
And then Tyrus brings Kerr to bed and tucks her in because she's all upset.
Oh,
and
he
grieving.
doesn't want to tuck her in.
And then he's like,
He tucks it
she goes,
in.
no, stay. Yeah. He was tucking it in and he was going to leave.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then she goes, no, stay with me. Make love to me. And
Yeah.
so they have yum time.
Yeah.
And then we also find out this is where Allison talks about her brother, and she left her brother behind because the father was abusive. So she disses the brother.
See, this is what confused me as well.
That's why I got confused. She leaves when she was around 14 years old, right?
Yeah.
We'll say she's 20. This is 6 years ago. She ditches her younger brother for the drunk. So she
No.
doesn't have a deal.
He ditched them. He ran away and joined the corn cult.
Oh, and then she left when he left.
Yes. No, it was him that ditched them. He ran away.
No,
from
but she says you left me.
No, I mean, I think it was more he wasn't protective enough of him. I got that impression,
Right.
but he definitely ran away and joined the corn cult. That's why he's here again. Big coincidence that just happens, like the sort of remote town that they land in, just happens to have the same corn cult that her brother ran away and joined. But no, I was more confused whenever they were talking about the suicide of the bungee jumping guy who didn't bungee jump. Because I thought she was maybe then talking about her brother, but then their brother Jacob comes into it, another biblical Old Testament name.
Yeah, I thought the guy who committed suicide was her brother initially, but it wasn't. It was just a friend.
Yes, I had to get it clear.
And then
I was going, well, who the
we-
fuck did the bungee jump then?
But when the sheriff from fucking Twin Peaks, just give you a heart on there,
Yeah, right. Yep.
he says, he makes the line, "He who walks behind the rose," and we see Allison's face turn red.
That's
We knew
right.
turn pale, so we knew there's some connection to this town.
That's
so they
right.
do play on that.
Yes. Yeah.
They do play on that, and she's going to stay to,
Find her
find her
brother.
brother.
Yeah.
But the other three are going to leave,
What?
but they don't. But there's some funny. There's a line where she's going to stay for her brother, and they're at the bus stop. They're at the bus stop. Oh wait, that's not yet. That's not here yet. Oh no. Best line ever. Best line in movie. I feel so sorry for him. So we have a quick run in with Ezekiel's gang. By
Yes.
the ways, the most unintimidating gang ever.
Either the least convincing sort of sinister gang cult ever. You know what I mean? If they came anywhere near you and like threatened you, you'd laugh at them and hit them a slap.
And here's the problem.
Send them on their way.
Here's the problem. The whole film, besides 5% of it, maybe, is all during the day.
Yes.
So there's really no threat here until the very last act. So that kind of takes away the tension. You talk about atmospheric all the time. that cuts away from the atmosphere right there. You have it on broad daylight the whole day, and you got the sheriff running around all the time. So there's no sense of dread here yet.
Sex machine. Yeah.
But anyways, Tyrese, after having yum yum time with Kerr, is alone, and there's a lot of moments, and there's quite a few of them where the piano music plays in the background as a powerful dramatic moment.
We're back in the Dawson's Creek world again, especially later on where she talks to where Eva Mendes, she basically fancies hunky corn evil kid, he's about 17, because don't forget you can't be 18 here or else because you get sacrificed like the brother's going to be Jacob. But yeah, she basically, one of the kids is quite hunky and he's working, with the horses or whatever. And he gives her this sort of emotional speech about how it's actually quite a nice speech if someone said it in the real world. But he says about, how the world's a terrible place, blah, blah, blah. But it's all because of adults and, we'll have to keep getting up and going on, all this here, no matter what, of all the tragedy. So she falls for him, not knowing that he's basically an evil corn cult kid, but she joins the cult anyway, basically, around this point. But that's when you have like the sort of soft piano, emotional stuff.
So when Tyrus, the piano music kicks in, and Tyrus has a moment with Kerr after having yum yum time.
I know that, yeah.
He says to her, "Listen, about last night, I thought there was a wonderful night. I really care about you. It wasn't just about sex." And then she goes, "Well, it was for me," and then she leaves.
It's actually, they actually says it wasn't just a one night stand for me. She goes, "Well, it was for me."
And then the bitch goes and starts hitting on the cow cleaner.
Yeah,
that's the guy you're talking about.
Yeah,
the cow cleaner. And now she's falling for him. And yes, he gives her a spiel. And we'll get to what happens in a minute here. So while the other two go look for Jacob, they go meet Luke. Ezekiel brings them to Luke, which is played by David Carradine. And he gives this really fucking just batshit crazy, really creepy speech, starting off with, "Some call me a molester.
Yeah.
Some call me a killer, but I'm more of a preacher."
Yeah.
And he doesn't really take accountability for, "Are you a molester then?"
Yeah. It's basically Jimmy Savile vibes. He's basically corn Jimmy Savile.
He's Manson.
Yeah.
He's Manson.
Yeah. But on the other hand, again, they're playing around with the canon. Obviously he's an adult, so I don't think it's fully explained his kind of. Sheriff Gable from Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me does explain a bit in the bar, but it's not
sheriff.
No, but he wasn't Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. That's what I'm saying. Sheriff Gable. Yeah, but no, that guy in the bar, he basically explains it a bit, but it's never really properly elaborated upon his actual role in the cult. I know he's like this sort of Manson father-like figure and the ultimate head, with Ezekiel as his sort of second in command. But, surely the corn cult with, he who walks behind the rose is only basically, you're only allowed to be a child.
Yeah, and then you sacrifice yourself at the end.
Yeah.
But
why
she finally meets Jacob. She meets Jacob, and Jacob's about to turn 18, and he's like, "Come with me. You left me alone." She said, "Cool, come home with me now." "I can't. I'm married now. And I have a kid on the way." And he writes something in this book, and he hands her the book. This is their Bible, I guess you can say.
Yep, corn Bible.
And Kerr gets a hold of it. This is the best part. Kerr, worst casting ever. Mrs. I think she fucked the cow groomer. I'm not sure. I don't.
Well, she wants to anyway.
Yeah, she wants to get down and dirty so he can play with her udders. Sorry, bad joke.
Milk them.
Bad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, they're all sitting around and they're like, "I got to get my brother out of here." And they're like, "Listen, we're getting the fuck out of here. We're taking the bus. We're getting the fuck out of here. This place is batshit crazy." And Kerr's like, "You know what? The book makes sense. It's the adults that make the kids tainted."
Yes.
And then the beautiful music's playing in the background. Piano. And Kerr's like, "I read the whole thing." "What? You read that entire Bible in like 10 minutes? I didn't realize she could read."
She was only pretending to be the sort of dumb girl of the gang. She was a super reader. she could read basically an entire corn Bible within minutes. No problem to her. It all
then
makes sense.
And then per Tyrus already getting fucked over by Kira the first time, by saying pouring his heart out, poor bastard.
Yep.
And they're waiting. They decide, no, we're not. You go. You rescue Jacob. We're leaving now. At this point, we stayed long enough, and they're waiting for the bus. And then Greg doesn't want to leave. And then Tyrese turns to him and goes, "You really like her, don't you?" And Greg doesn't say anything. He goes, "Yeah. What's your excuse?" And then Tyrese goes, "I have no one to go home to." The music starts playing again, and you're like, "Oh, per Tyrus." And Tyrus at that moment looks over at Kerr, kind of like, "But I still like you."
Yeah.
And she just looks away. Doesn't even look at him.
Bitch.
Give him the time of day.
I know.
What a mean person.
Well, she gets her comeuppance pretty soon anyway. But I would say,
Terrible death.
for a jock character, Tyrese, as somebody called Tyrese, is actually quite...
Tyrus,
yeah. For a jock character, he's actually quite likable.
I'll say
in
this:
terms
the
of the
characters
writing
are
of the
likable.
character. Yeah.
The characters are likable. Besides
They are.
Kerr, I don't like her.
Yeah, but she's playing that role in the group. You have to have that dynamic where one of them is a bit of a bitch or a bit of an asshole. That's all part of it. You have the Joker with Alexis Arquette and stuff. So it's all, again, it goes back to the whole, the slasher tropes.
All right, let me ask you this question. Here we go. So Jacob's 18. He's got to climb up the silo, jump into the fire.
Yes.
Okay. Happy 18th birthday.
What did you do on your 18th birthday?
I went to Disney World. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I jumped into a massive silo with a fire and had to sacrifice myself to a corn god.
So he gets up. He starts going up there, and he looks. And he's like, this really isn't for me.
Yeah, it goes,
So
fuck that shit.
yeah, and he goes to his young wife, pregnant wife. Hey, let's get out of here, baby. And she's like, nope, I like the corn god. And then all of a sudden, then he leaves. And we know Ezekiel goes, you can just leave. You betrayed us. Well, we know the henchmen are going after him.
Of course.
So the henchmen beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Kira shows up then right at that moment and goes, I'll do it. Why all of a sudden she's wanting to jump into this thing? What exactly?
Because she has... it's obviously there
Kurt.
for dramatic effect. You know what I mean?
No, because of Kurt. She wants to see Kurt again.
She's doing it because she's fallen in love with Cow Utter guy.
Oh, no. The cow cleaner has nothing to do with it. She makes the line. I forgot. She says, Kurt is waiting for me.
Oh,
That's
right.
why she wants to do it.
The bungee jumper that didn't bungee jump.
yeah, the fucker commits suicide.
Right.
Because he clearly loved you after he taken his own life.
Right. Well, yeah, there's also the fact that, yes, you're such a bitch. Her previous boyfriend topped himself over her. But anyway.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'll be rethinking my life here at this point. But anyways, here's what I don't get. It's when you turn 18, you got to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
But she's over 18.
No, they're all 17. 18? They're all 17, I believe. I could be wrong.
No. You're wrong. Because they're in college.
Right, so
and that's
19,
where they met.
maybe?
No, they're 19, 20 at least. But she's a few years older than Jacob.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The sister, Allison, is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're all the same age.
Right.
I'm assuming.
Okay.
So she's over 18. So is it the sacrifice happen on her 18th, or you just have to be over 18?
Oh no, you definitely have to be over 18.
Oh, I know, but you'll get what I'm asking.
No,
Does it have to be on your 18th birthday, or you could just be an adult?
Well, maybe you miss it on your 18th birthday because you're actually a normal human being who's going about your normal life. But then you eventually realize down the road after reading the Corn Bible that actually you're over 18 and you should be dead going by Corn Bible. So then you would then decide possibly to say, you know what, my dead bungee jumping boyfriend's waiting on me on the other side. Plus I'm sort of in love with Cow Utter corn cult guy. So I'll just do everyone a favour, including the people watching this film, and jump into the fire.
I'm glad. I was waiting for her to jump in the fire. I love when she goes to she looks down, butts fire, and she just plops herself in.
Yeah.
You don't even hear anything. There's not even a cool death. She just jumps in.
I know. I was actually waiting on her popping up later on, where it was like a red herring.
Yeah.
Where it was like, yeah, gotcha. You know what I mean? Or she saved the day. But I would say one of the big problems of this film is actually the finale, where the deaths of the main characters are quite anticlimactic, including Alexis Arquette onto the car.
Yeah, I had a problem with the Arquette one. Well, no, the Arquette one was okay. But the Tyrus, because the Arquette one, he self-sacrifices
Yes.
himself, but he takes out some doing it. So that when he blows up,
He blows up the barn.
That was cool, and it goes with this character.
Mhm.
So that made sense. I didn't like Tyrus's death, even though he was being kind of a hero. The problem is the deaths are too
Quick.
too quick.
Yeah.
And
Jacobs as well.
Filler. Well, you have all this filler for like a half hour.
Yeah.
You could have peppered in their deaths here one by one. Not just and go.
They could have paced it over the duration of the film. Where you had like certain beats where you have like a death every 20 minutes or whatever. I'm just sort of putting that sort of out of the sky, that figure. But you know what I mean? It could have been paced out over the film, each death. But instead, it's all very rushed in this sort of quite messy finale.
What's with Allison and the sheriff go to see Luke. Luke goes up batshit crazy. His head literally splits in half, then turns into a flamethrower, and then blows.
Goes right
burns,
through Sex Machine
Sheriff's face off.
Yeah.
So he's not Sex Machine. That was Tom Savini.
You're right. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes, Tom Savini. You're right. Sorry,
apologies. The gun between the legs.
That's right. Apologies. Yes, but he's in from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes. He's the one always fighting, like mirror. He's always mirror fighting.
That's right. Yes, that's right. It was Tom Savini was Sex Machine. Yeah.
So his head splits and it turns into a flamethrower. They're trying to copy the Thing a bit or something going on here, and it blows the face off of the sheriff. And there's Allison going, that's odd.
That's not something you see every day. But
and then all of a sudden she turns commando and she gets the shotgun, and now she's going to go kick some ass.
Final girl.
All the deaths start happening. Yeah.
It's all very rushed and very chaotic. Because there was times when I was watching it, I had to rewind back and say, "Sorry, what happened there?" And sort of had to sort of actually sort of confirm to myself what exactly happened and who got killed.
Right. When he does do the self-sacrifice, Greg.
Yes.
It gives her the idea. Fire with fire.
Yes.
So that's where she gets the idea. Now she uses. I love when Ezekiel gets chucked into the silo. Just I'll see you little fucker.
Yeah, well, that was always going to happen. So it was. He gets a hook in the head as well, I think, or his hand. Yeah.
I do like the fact, like we mentioned it before, there's peril here, and the main characters are getting it. Whether it's too quickly done or whatnot, at least their deaths match the way they were written. If that makes any sense.
No, I know what you're saying.
But I do like that, and I do like the fact her brother dies. Her brother does die and pretty much says, this is on me. So you do have that, and the chemistry is decent with these people.
I would say
as the actors.
Despite this being completely daft and a generic sort of slasher sequel, I enjoyed it, for what it is.
This is better than the last one.
It's very different in terms of tone.
It's better. It's 100
very
times
different
better.
in terms of tone.
Fast-paced. It's fast-paced.
I enjoyed it.
That's why. It's not arrogant. And the other one was trying to be more like sophisticated, kind of like what you were saying. This knows what it is, wants what it wants to do. This is a much better film than the last one.
I wouldn't compare them, but yeah.
Let me ask you. She throws fertilizer into the flame. That's what she throws in there,
yes.
right?
Yes. Fighting fire with fire. It's a fuel the fire, basically.
There's a scene. There's a scene that's really good. It's when the two firefighters go to put out the flames, when the sheriff is going off with Allison, and he gets toasted, and it's a nice stunt where he falls off on fire because there is a guy in that fire suit, and that's probably where Kane Hodder might come in.
That's right.
He's a stuntman in real life, and the other guy gets flamed, and he gets put on fire too. It's done in slow motion too. It's kind of a nice little shot, giving it a little more gravitas when it comes to where to put the camera and how to shoot a pretty cool stunt for a film like this. But again, once everyone's dead and the little pregnant girl goes with, well, I guess you could say it would be her sister-in-law.
Yeah, exactly. It basically, pregnant wife of Allison's brother, Jacob.
Lily.
Yeah.
Lily.
She basically goes back to her parents and she has his child, but then it's decided, her parents are completely just like, yeah, you know what? I think it's best if for all of us, if we just get rid of the child. It's very dismissive of the baby, but yes,
Whoa, because Lily's
yeah,
taking
aye,
it.
but then we'll have the final scare with the baby.
Well, the flame eyes.
So the
Do you
parents
know?
know.
Do you know who Lily's mom? Lily's mom is Susan Hubley. She was a kind of an up and coming actress in the late 70s
Yeah.
and early 80s. She was married to
Right,
Kurt Russell.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
And I was weird. It's like, why is she? That's a very maybe it's just a cameo.
Yeah.
You know, for horror fans would know her from Escape from New York
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that's where she's from. So maybe that's just a cameo because I figured she'd have a little more of a bigger part. But yeah, here's the baby. Oh, why don't you go ahead and the parents? You know, the parents want to get rid of it.
Well, they are
Oh,
quite
fucking
dismissive, but
corn
perhaps
baby.
they have their reasons because they know it's evil corn god baby.
Here, you can have
Yeah.
it, Allison. It's
Get rid of the
okay.
little brat. Dump it.
All right. Yeah, but this one.
Enjoyable nonsense.
I'll give this one a pass. So far, this one and the first one get passes.
You know,
First one's a good little
different
film,
reasons.
but this one gets a pass because it's a slasher film, and I like the characters. It's got flaws, guys. Don't get me wrong. It is terrible in a lot, but at least it's a slasher film, and that's what I got.
You know what? You know, we're now 5 films into this retrospective, and I have to say, with all of them, there are elements I have enjoyed. So, you know, with this one, yeah, enjoyable nonsense.
So there you go. Oh my God, we'll be back with another 3.
No, not only will we be back, but guess who's back as well?
That's right,
Isaac.
Our boy Isaac.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up. I want to know why Malachi never came back.
Maybe read the script.
Well, he's got a career.
Isaac's back and so are we.
Good old Courtney. Yeah, we'll be back. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. This is our first time doing 3. It's an hour and a half. Not bad, half hour per film, and a couple of jokes in between, and me yelling at Trevor as usual.
Unjustified as always.
But that's, damn right it is. That's all I've got. Listen, guys, thanks for listening to Chill in the Corn retrospective. So far, it's done really well. It's only the one we've done so far, but be curious to see if you guys can sit through all 3 of these ones. It's a good laugh. These are good fun. I think that's why we do them. The Chill in the Corns are so dumb. You just go with them. And when you do find something that's actually kind of a pleasant surprise, you give it a pass because you're like, you know what? That's not that bad. So maybe that's
There's
what
some
it
good
is.
stuff in there throughout all the madness.
All right, guys, we're going to continue that madness next week. You guys take care of yourselves until then, and we'll chat soon.